Let's face it guys, Sonic has been through the ropes. Not just from the fans, but definitely from the critics, with very ranging reviews, most of which are inconsistent, especially from a few certain people, but we'll get into that later on in the video. Today I'm going to be looking over some of the most common inconsistencies, and some of the stupidest reasons that people have downmarked a Sonic the Hedgehog game on reviews. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it. What's going on guys, my name is Fincredible, and today we're going to be looking at why Sonic the Hedgehog reviews are stupid. To start off, we're going to be going with the most infamous of these, which is of course IGN. If you are a Sonic fan and you don't hold a grudge against IGN, you really should, because they are very, very, very confusing when it comes to the blue blur, because they'll be praising him the next minute and then coming out with liners like this.
Really actually there. Sonic was never good.
And, I mean, that's a perfectly fair idea to have, but you're a reviewing company, you're not some teenagers trying to get your point across just because you saw a kid who liked Sonic the Hedgehog and wanted him to make him feel bad about himself. Sonic the Hedgehog was brilliant, Sonic the Hedgehog is fantastic, and there's no one who can really say anything otherwise, because if Sonic the Hedgehog was a bad series, I very much doubt it would have made its way through 30 years and counting, seeing as Sonic the Hedgehog is in its best place ever. I know that's thanks to the movie, and you know, Sonic Frontiers and all that stuff, but really, if Sonic the Hedgehog was a bad franchise, it wouldn't have lasted this long, because Sonic the Hedgehog is just something so special. The reason why that is one of the most confusing things I've ever heard of is because they claim it was never good, but they've given Sonic the Hedgehog 4 a 8 out of 10, and it's really confusing to me why they give it an 8 out of 10, because honestly, it's one of the weakest titles in the franchise. It has vastly inferior physics to basically any other Sonic game, unless you count the Sonic Forces Classic Sonic, but even then, that's only a third of that game. If a third of that game has a Sonic 4 physics, then a third of that game has bad physics. Because in Sonic 4, you had some of the worst physics I've ever seen in a Sonic game. And that's not me being biased, because I've played through so many Sonic games, I love basically every Sonic media that I touch, so I can tell you that Sonic 4 does do things very weakly. It doesn't try anything new, unlike so many different Sonic titles. I mean, it reuses a lot of things. I mean, IGN even state that in the review, and even then, they're like, yeah, sure, it's the greatest Sonic game ever in so many years, when you've got titles like Sonic Adventure 2. But then, like, they're saying Sonic 4 is a great, great game, but they're giving titles which are so much better, so much more ambitious, so much greater, because they do so many more things, and they do so many more things well, like Sonic Unleashed a 4.5, and then that's even more confusing, because they give the worst version of Sonic Unleashed, the very worst version, aka the PlayStation 2 and the Wii versions, which are completely different games, which are much more toned down, and while they do have their good points, they are in fact inferior to the game because they're running on worse hardware, which means they can't do as much things, and they can't make it as good as the PS3 version. They still give it a 7. And I don't see how you can give a inferior version of a game a higher rating than the better version of the game. That really doesn't make sense. Another thing that I've noticed with IGN is that they decided to praise a gameplay feature in Sonic and the Secret Rings, which was the kind of RPG kind of element of the game, where you can upgrade Sonic and make him faster, you can make him, you know, more talented with his tricks and things like that. But then in Sonic Unleashed, they complain about the fact that there's RPG elements, like you make Sonic faster, claiming, oh, if Sonic's the fastest thing alive, he should be the fastest thing alive from the get-go, I shouldn't have to unlock his speed. But then, like I said, the critics are praising it from the same company the year before with those same elements, and to me, that just doesn't make sense. You can't praise something in one review and then in the next game downgrade the same object, because that doesn't make any sense. It makes you look stupid, and I get that IGN are very stupid when it comes to Sonic, but still, it is no excuse. There shouldn't be an excuse. They have both RPG elements, and in my opinion, they are both good RPG elements. You unlock different skills in Sonic and the Secret Rings, and in Sonic Unleashed you have experience, which you can pour into the different facets of your character, whether that be Sonic the Hedgehog with speed and ring energy, or Sonic Unleashed Werehog mode, where you have things like strength, combos, shield, and other things. They're all really well done. So you can't say this one is good and this one is bad, because they're both good. They're both good, and you can't complain about something that was carried over from one game into the next. It just doesn't make sense, and it makes you look like idiots, like I said. Next up, we have the fans. And, oh lord, the fans. The fans can't seem to decide on anything in the Sonic franchise, and honestly, it's not really their fault, because Sega have tried so many different styles with the Hedgehog and his different games that it just polarizes everyone, because you've got fans of so many different things. Because you've got the 2D classic side-scrolling gameplay, you've got the 3D gameplay from Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, you've got the Heroes style, you've got the Boost gameplay, you've got the Werehog gameplay, you've got the Sonic and the Secret Rings on Rails gameplay, you've got the Sonic and the Black Knight sword gameplay, you've got, and so on, you know. I could carry on telling you about all the different gameplay styles from the Sonic games. We'd be here too long. But the reason why I bring this up is because they're fans of Sonic because they want to see Sonic do well. But when no one can decide on what's good for Sonic, it can lead to Sega getting confused. Yeah, everyone liked classic Sonic in Sonic Generations, so they did that, and they did Mania, and everyone liked Mania. But I feel like they got a bit too cozied up to the idea of us liking classic Sonic, and that's why we had him in Forces, which ultimately, as we all saw, detracted from the game overall. But that doesn't mean it's their fault. If they were pushed so hard through their classic Sonic agenda, thanks to the fans being like, oh yeah, classic Sonic, yeah, this is awesome, I feel like they wouldn't have done that. Because if they saw that not like Sonic, they took classic Sonic like it was the best thing since sliced bread after the fans' reception to it, and honestly, I can see why. Everyone was praising it afterwards, but it is still kind of their fault for taking that and seemingly implementing it as a last-second feature because of how unfinished the classic Sonic levels felt. Honestly, if you ask me, the classic Sonic thing, yeah, it was a mistake, but we do have slightly ourselves to blame for creating such a polarizing thing within the Sonic community where everyone wants something different and Sega's just trying to please us all. So we kind of I can't say we need to decide because everyone's going to have their own opinions, but I feel like there needs to be something that Sonic Team can do that can make us decide on what the future of Sonic should be. And I feel like that's what Frontiers is going to be. But ergo, that's what I'm going to say with, like, the fan reviews are so confusing because no one knows what they want. Well, the Sega team, they don't know what we want because there's so many different voices pushing at them for different things that can cause it to get muddied and confused on what everyone actually wants. Next, we're going to just cover a couple of general problems I have with so many different Sonic the Hedgehog reviews. And the first one is that we need to stop comparing it to the classic Sonic games. You can't take Sonic and the Black Knight and compare it to Sonic the Hedgehog 1. 1 is a 2D side-scrolling game where you have to run, jump, and beat the bosses. Sonic and the Black Knight is a game where you have a sword, you have to take part in a 3D on-rails experience, defeating enemies with your sword, saving, the townspeople, because obviously if you hit the townsperson, you lose fans, and defeating bosses with the sword. It's two incredibly different gameplay styles. You can't compare them. It's like comparing apples and oranges. So why would you compare those games? You can't say, oh, this is so far away from a Sonic 1 game. Like, of course it's so far away from Sonic 1. Sonic 1 came out in 1991, and Sonic and the Black Knight here is coming out in 2009. Sega, they tried so many different game styles because they didn't know what the fans wanted because nothing seems to stick. If you don't let Sega kind of know that what's a good game style because you trash the games that have the good game styles in, like Sonic Unleashed, because everyone's like, oh yeah, the boost gameplay, it's awesome in Sonic Unleashed, but then you drop it a 4.5 review, they're not going to see that. They're just going to say, oh, they gave us a 4.5, Sonic Unleashed must have been a bad game, let's move on. So you're not going to really get any headway if you just trash the games and you compare them to the old games. You can compare Sonic Mania and Sonic 1, because they're both 2D side-scrollers with the same core gameplay. Sonic Generations and Sonic Unleashed, sure. Compare the daytime stages of Sonic Unleashed with Sonic Colors. They're both boost gameplay formula games. You can compare classic Sonic's gameplay in Sonic Generations and Sonic Forces to the classic Sonic games, sure, because they're both classic Sonic gameplay styles. But you cannot compare two Sonic games that have wildly different playstyles and say, oh, this one isn't like this one, so it's bad. That's like a racing game fan saying, oh, Skyrim isn't, you don't drive a car in Skyrim, so it's bad. It's just not a fair comparison between the different games. Sure, you can enjoy your classic Sonic games all you want, but you can't say, because a game doesn't have the 2D sections or the 2D gameplay, that it's just inherently bad. Because, if we take Sonic Adventure 2, that's a 3D Sonic game, and it's been praised as one of the greatest, if not the greatest Sonic game of all time, and it doesn't really have any 2D sections in it at all. So you can't say, if it doesn't have 2D sections, it's bad because it's not a classic Sonic game, and you can't just say, oh, it's only a 3D Sonic game, so it has to be bad. Both series, sections have good games, you just need to know which ones to play if you want the good ones. And personally, I've enjoyed nearly every Sonic game I've ever played, save for Sonic Lost World, and that's just due to personal gameplay preferences. I just don't really think it swims that well, but that's another video. Either way, like I said, you can't just say games are inherently bad. I know Sonic Lost World isn't for me, but I don't think it's a bad game. I think it was crafted quite well, and while it may have fallen flat, it did have its qualities. To wrap things up, I have the problem that, well, everything is just so divided, so it makes it so hard to review Sonic games unbiasedly, because you're going to have the different people reviewing, and they're going to be enjoying Sonic from different landscapes. They're going to have people who came from the TV show, from the movies. Now you're going to have people who came from the classic Sonic era, the modern Sonic era, the Dreamcast era. They're all going to be biased towards specific types of Sonic, so you can't really have a fair Sonic comparison or review, because there's so much different polarizing things. If you want someone to review a classic Sonic game, say if a Sonic Mania 2 came out, you need to get someone who's good at platformer games to judge it, because they'll be able to judge it based on their experience with other platformer games, other good platformer games, and see if it can hold up to those other games. If you want someone to judge a 3D Sonic game like Sonic Unleashed, you get someone who's good at 3D platformers to judge it, someone who's good at Crash Bandicoot, someone who enjoys Crash Bandicoot and other Sonic games that are along that line, and just other games that are along those lines, because they know what makes those type of games good. You can't just throw random reviewers at it and say, here, take a look at this game, because they're not going to know what they're doing, like IGN. And honestly, that kind of wraps up this video. It was a bit of a rant, but I feel like it was just some things that needed to be said. Other people have probably said this before, but I just wanted to take my input on it and put it in my own way. So if you guys have enjoyed, please consider subscribing, liking, and hitting the bell. It all goes such a long way, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.